Hi, I'm Lisa Giuliani. I want to say a few things about what's going on in occupied Palestine and Gaza. Over the last 2 weeks, the illegal occupation that calls itself Israel has been bombarding the occupied people of Palestine, of Gaza, with a military offensive. They might as well be calling it Bomb the Babies from Their Beds. They call it Operation Protective Edge. They are killing entire families. They're killing children. A lowball figure, not including today's tally of the dead from the death ticker, is 550 in 2 weeks, not including today. Thousands injured. There are children arriving at the morgue in Gaza, headless, dismembered. Bodies are burnt so bad, they're beyond recognition. The morgue there is so full of people, dead people, that they are having to put the bodies on the floor. At least 100,000 people displaced, homeless, huddling in UN shelters, schools, sleeping on the ground. The UN schools that they're staying at don't have the resources to accommodate them. Aid is not really being allowed in. Gaza is sealed off. There's really nowhere for them to go. They're being attacked from the air, from the sea, and on land. The resistance that we hear so much about is comprised of civilians, men from the villages and camps. Gaza is divided up into camps. Every Palestinian is a member of the resistance. They have no army, no navy, no air force, nothing like the Marines. It's just civilians, so we don't need to call them militants. If we're going to call them militants, then what? They're all militants? The 5-month-old baby that got killed was a militant? How about the 2 18-month-old babies that were killed? How about the young man in the green shirt in the ISM video I just watched a little while ago that was looking for his relatives in the rubble of bombed-out houses who got shot by a sniper? And he got shot repeatedly, and no one was able to get close enough to him to help him, or they would have been killed too. And of course, he died. Was he a militant? He was looking for his relatives, and now he's dead. 1.2 million, I think it is, people that have little or no access to water. Everybody has a right to water. You can't really call it self-defense when you are bombing hospitals and ambulances, family homes, press vehicles, when you're attacking journalists, when you are attacking telephone and power lines, when you are hitting water pumps and dispensers, when you are attacking the Civil Defense Department, when you are bombing private vehicles, individuals as they flee from bombs, and entire families. They've wiped out at least 22 entire families. They've killed at least 550 people. Of those, at least 130 were children under the age of 18. They've extracted an electronic component that goes inside of a missile from the body of a 15-year-old. People are huddling in their homes, the ones that haven't evacuated to UN school, in one room, away from windows, away from doors, because they bomb the doors and the windows explode. It's very hot there. They have power cuts. They may have power for a couple hours a day. So it's stiflingly hot. They have no water and no electricity. Could you live like that? And why would you fund something like that with your tax dollars? Because what's being done there is genocide. It's not self-defense. It is not self-defense when you bomb 4 little boys playing on the beach with artillery. They're dead too. Ages 9 to 11. Just gone. Just gone. Is this who we are? This is all being accomplished because our government funds an illegal occupation. Zionism is a colonialist, militant, racist ideology that cloaks itself in Judaism. Real Jews don't support Israel or Zionism because they know it's wrong. And they have no right to be doing what they're doing where they're doing that. They originated in Europe. They should go back to Europe. Palestine is not their holy land. Palestine is the country of the indigenous people of Palestine. I just don't get why why they are able to use F-22 warplanes. Our government passed a law that forbids export of F-22 warplanes, yet they're using them to bomb these civilians. They're using internationally banned weapons, white phosphorus bombs, and flechettes. They used these in 2008, 2009 in Operation Cast Lead, and they killed a bunch more people back then with impunity. Our Senate has just voted 100-0 unanimously in favor of supporting Israel in this offensive. It's mind-boggling. I thought years ago that we were a country that supports and upholds and advocates for human rights. Not just human rights for ourselves, for all people. We believe in that, don't we? Don't we believe in that? I want to know why our U.S. President, Mr. Obama, why are you not coming out publicly and condemning this genocide, this sociocide, this mass murder? Why are you spending U.S. tax dollars to fund mass murder of innocent, unarmed civilians? Why are you supporting Zionists? It's just outrageous. The media is controlled by Zionists, so you're getting an out-of-context framework for the story. They are misrepresenting the story. It's not two equal sides. It's occupier and occupied people. That is not an equal footing. That is not an equal footing. They don't have the same capacity to fight back. You're not looking at two opposing armies here. You're looking at a civilian population and a highly equipped, high-tech military force. Wow, so brave. Shooting into a barrel. I think George Galloway called it slaughtering fish in a barrel. That's exactly what it is. They're walled in, they're sealed off, they're blockaded, they have nowhere to go. And the hospitals can't deal with all the injuries that are pouring in when ambulances are even allowed to get to the wounded, because the occupation is preventing transport of injured to the hospital. They're shooting at the ambulances. They're bombing the ambulances. There are international presences there, activists, and they're attacking them too. So it doesn't matter if you're not Palestinian. They don't like when foreigners go in to help. It's just outrageous. I can't tell you how furious I am about it, that this government is sanctioning a genocide of another people. Haven't we seen enough of that? Isn't that how this country began too? The genocide of the North American Indian? Yeah. What happened to never again? Does it only apply to the Jews? No, I don't think so. If the Jews don't want these Zionists fomenting world hatred of all Jews, they really need to speak up now, louder, scream, assemble, pressure the government, because that's what's happening. And all this is an extension of Nazism. They wanted Jews out of Europe decades ago, and now they've found a way to get them out willingly by telling them they have a chosen land. They don't have a chosen land. They're not a chosen people. This is just a way to get them out of Europe. And Zionists want to expand their land grab operation and unlawful settlement construction, and they need the real estate, and they want to profit off of Palestinian natural resources. That's what's going on. It has nothing to do with religion. It's not about Hamas, because this was going on long before Hamas was even around. Is this who we are? Is there any wonder why people around the world consider Americans the enemy? They consider us a predatory nation because our troops are blatantly misused to invade other countries, topple their governments, to install central banks, and profit off their resources that are stolen by our government and NATO countries. It's just absurd. It's absurd to support this. And I don't support it. And this is all gifted to them, this assistance, which must be frozen. U.S. aid to Israel has got to be stopped. And not just till they're in compliance, because now there's been too much loss of life. This has gone on too long. There's no way you can ever repay the damage done. Entire families, children. We've got speakers at the Knesset advocating for death to all the children of Palestine and their mothers and the demolition of their homes because the mothers might breed more children. This is inciting people to genocide. Our government supports this. They're using internationally banned weapons. They need to be taken to the International Criminal Court. The members of that crime syndicate posing as a government need to be in maximum security prisons with no chance of appeal or parole. They need to either be in Gitmo or in one of their own nasty prisons. It's just absurd. I don't understand why there isn't more fury and outrage over this. We have so much blood on our hands in the United States, we will never be able to wash it off. And if our government, Mr. Obama, can't find it within himself to come out and condemn this genocide that he's funding with our money, then you have to ask yourself, would he also sanction it being done to us? Because if he's willing to sanction and bless it and stand and support the genocide of an indigenous people in another country with our money and our name, how do you know he wouldn't sanction the same thing happening to us? It's a good question. You should ask yourself. Please support BDS. Please pressure your government. Please pressure the president. I've tweeted him 10 times in the last 2 days. Gather together, protest, sign petitions, raise awareness, speak out. You don't need to be afraid. I've been doing it for years. I'm still here. We can't let this stand. Too many people are being murdered. Human rights matter. They matter, not just for us. They matter for everyone. Long live Palestine.